WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now, here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow. You know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Feels good to be back after a week hiatus thanks to high school football preemptions, although it looks like we're nearing the end of the season here, so fret not, as looks like those interruptions will be minimal, at least going forward for the next few months here. Although you'll be glad to know that, speak of football, right pretty much at the conclusion of the program today, I'll be rushing over to Hamilton High School to do play-by-play for Nottingham and Hamilton. So it's a little bit of the if you can't beat them, join them, I suppose, as far as all that goes. So, man, where to start with here? Well, of course, Fearon Derry here with you, not with Lucas DeSangro. He has some occupational obligations that he has to meet. Looks like he'll pretty much be going forward, joining us here when we do our remotes down at the MFPW Arena, which I'm hoping the next time that'll occur will be way down the road on December 10th. As a programming note for next week, I'll actually be live on tape, pending any other preemptions that I don't know about, due to... this should be a lot of fun. I'll talk more about the MFPW event going on next week or 1 week from tonight. But prior to that, earlier in the day, for those of you budding wrestlers out there who may want to learn a thing or two, there's actually going to be a 4-hour seminar from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. next Saturday, November 12th. It's going to be with Ring of Honor's Delirious. So you can only imagine what kind of insanity will be going on with that. And there's going to be a rather notable infusion of Ring of Honor at the event next week. But we'll talk more about that coming up later in the hour here. Well, I guess we'll get things going with the state of TNA. That would certainly be the way to get things started, because there's been a lot that's gone on over the course of the past couple of weeks. And for those who have missed it, I'll work on getting you caught up here. First, it started with, as you remember, the injunction that Billy Corgan was taking to try to prevent Impact Wrestling from selling, essentially, until I guess he could get some things together. It's again, very courtish and newsish and very difficult to kind of put together. But Billy Corgan taking to Twitter to address the Nashville Chancellor's ruling that prevented his attempt to gain a restraining order against TNA. He said, quote, "For those asking, I'm in no way disappointed the judge's ruling regarding TNA. Rather, I'm grateful the judge considered the case. It's important to note these proceedings have brought forth facts which illuminate business practices I have fought against for a reason. And I suggest that a careful reading on the judge's ruling supports there can be no claim of victory by anyone in a position of authority." And that was with the Nashville Chancery Court judge ruling against the request for the temporary restraining order, and that ended up being a big win for Dixie Carter and TNA, because they issued a press release last Thursday stating that Anthem Sports and Entertainment Corporation and Impact Ventures, parent company of TNA Impact Wrestling, announced that Anthem has provided a credit facility to TNA to fund operations. Anthem Sports and Entertainment Group is a global sports media company that operates Fight Network, Impact Wrestling's exclusive broadcaster in Canada, as well as the exclusive worldwide digital streaming partner for all TNA programming. It is also an equity stakeholder of Impact Ventures. The statement goes on to read, "The agreement includes the appointment of Anthem Executive Vice President Ed Nordholm to the Impact Ventures Board of Managers. The company will be managed by the board, with Mr. Nordholm representing the board on all major operating and restructuring decisions. Dixie Carter will continue as chair of the company, as well as her position on the board of managers, and Billy Corgan is no longer with the company. That is a telling statement right there, which leads to a lot more he said, they said, which we'll get into shortly. Carter goes on to say, quote, "We have had a successful long-term partnership with Fight Network as our Canadian broadcaster and more recently as our global digital partner. Anthem's team has extensive media experience, and I am excited to have that available to us as we plan for the future." Going on, she says, the CEO of Anthem goes on to say, "We have consistently maintained that investing in content as we grow our distribution is important as a strategic necessity, and working more closely with a strong brand like TNA is in line with that. This financing is an extension of the support we have been providing since the beginning of the year." And that's from Leonard Asper, the CEO of Anthem. He also adds, "There are tremendous opportunities to support the company's growth on all platforms and in all media alongside Dixie and the incredible talent and staff at TNA." But again, notice that I mentioned that in that statement, Billy Corgan no longer with the company. Well, Corgan had a few things to say about that, and he took to Twitter to do so, saying, quote, "Fact, TNA was supposed to pay me 2 days ago, which they swore to in front of a judge. Yesterday, they asked for a day to, quote, get money together, upon which, yesterday or today, they'd reach out directly to settle all claims. So they lied again and have used the time as a weapon." He goes on to say, "Fact, I have still not been paid, and I'm exploring all remedies, including new filings with court and converting to 36% equity." Yes, apparently the money that is owed to him, he could essentially become a 36% shareholder in Impact Wrestling and TNA. And it looks like with all this legal stuff that it looks to continue to get worse. Anthem Sports responding this past Thursday to Corgan's Twitter response, saying, quote, "We reject Mr. Corgan's social media comments today regarding Impact Wrestling. The matter is before courts, and public discourse is inappropriate. There is a solid financial plan for Impact Wrestling, and Mr. Corgan's loan will be dealt with appropriately." I know. So, like I said, a lot of he said, they said. So Corgan follows back with, "Terrible way to start our future relationship. What with the lying through counsel and propensity for press releases claiming victory. So when you sent out the press release today and one during the lawsuit, which is still pending for your information, that's not public discourse? Tisk. And the use of reject in your tweet, such strong language from a network of fights." So this doesn't look like it's getting better anytime soon. It only looks like it's going downhill from here, and who knows how that's going to affect the production of Impact Wrestling, how it's going to affect the morale of the wrestlers. Well, one, for example, already spoke out about it. Mike Bennett, as well as his wife Maria Kanellis Bennett, they didn't exactly appear to be happy with the way the legal battle has played out, and Bennett issuing a tweet saying, "Welp, back to bad business as usual," and meanwhile his wife Maria announcing that she would be leaving wrestling soon. So things not going so great, at least as far as morale goes, based on this, and who knows what it will take to turn things around. And as if all that wasn't bad enough, Challenge TV announcing that they will no longer be the home of TNA Impact Wrestling television shows in the United Kingdom as of January. The network issuing the following statement via their website, quote, "We know that many TNA fans will be disappointed to hear this, but we wanted to let you all know that as of January 2017, Challenge will no longer be the home of TNA in the UK. TNA has been a huge and important part of Challenge's story over the years, and we will treasure some great moments like the British Boot Camp and UK tours. We have been proud to bring UK viewers coverage of TNA and have huge respect for the company and its fans. TNA is packed with great talent, and we know they will continue to do great things. We wish them all the best." Fortunately, they didn't add in their future endeavors, because that's pretty much where it seemed like that was going. And to just continue the landslide of Impact Wrestling news, Dave Lagana announcing his departure from Impact Wrestling, one of the creative members. He said, he wrote yesterday, "Today I made the decision to leave TNA Impact Wrestling, a decision I do not make lightly, but one I made to create a future that I control. In 2017, you need to look forward to 2020 and beyond. My focus now is on personal branding, technology, and the wild west of storytelling available to all content creators today." He goes on to say, "I want to thank everyone at TNA Impact Wrestling for giving me the opportunity to be the Senior Director of Creative Writing. Also, I'd like to thank the talented and underappreciated television production crew and locker room. Getting to be collaborative with this group of men and women at every taping was an honor and a privilege. This is a creative business where stars are made one decision at a time. Believe and trust the process. Success will follow." Trust the process. I wonder if that has anything to do with the 76ers. I don't know. So coming up in the hour here, we'll talk about a lot of Taker sightings that have occurred. Also, Chris Jericho's next book coming out. We'll tell you when that is and what it's about. Also, a new pro wrestling promotion set to make its debut during WrestleMania weekend. I'm sure you might have at least heard of the company behind it. Also, the third quarter results are in as far as what WWE is doing with their subscriber count and everything else, the financial report. And also when and how you can get tickets to WrestleMania 33. Plus, I know we've talked a lot of litigation already, but one notable one looks finally to be over. We'll tell you when that is and how that's going on and whatnot here. Also coming up, we've got room for your calls at 215-949-3232 and toll free at 888-922-2149. We'll get to Ed from Northeast Philly on the other side of our first time out here. And we'll get to the usual mixed bag of insanity as well today in wrestling history, birthdays, and the like. But first, let me tell you about the appearances galore coming up at George's Cards and Collectibles, including starting next Saturday, November 12th, when former WWE superstar Snitsky will appear at George's in the Neshaminy Mall store from 12 noon to 2 p.m. And that same day, for you Eagles fans out there, Philadelphia Eagles kicker Caleb Sturgis will appear at George's in the Chamonix Mall location from 1 until 2 p.m. Also, Sunday, November 20th, the first public appearance of Flyers center and right winger Travis. Oh, goodness. I practiced this earlier, and Travis Coquette. Where's Jack Spears when I need him? He's the Flyers guy around here. Konechny, that's it. Travis Konechny. At George's in the Neshaminy Mall. And then finally, on Saturday, December 10th from 2 to 4 p.m., former WWE and TNA star Mr. Kennedy or Mr. Anderson, depending on your preference, will appear at George's Neshaminy Mall store. Again, that's Saturday, December 10th from 2 to 4 p.m. George's has 3 locations for all of your cards and collectibles needs, including their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, in the Willow Grove Park Mall on the second level near Macy's in Tivana, and in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing. For more on George's Cards and Collectibles, you can go to georgescollectibles.com or follow George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. Back with more here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Brain, spine, and back disorders are life-changing, often leaving you alone to seek answers only to be rushed through an assembly line office. The compassionate doctors at Princeton Brain and Spine Care have a mission. It's their duty and goal to treat your condition with the care that you deserve and with the care that you need to get better. At Princeton Brain and Spine Care, your quality of life is their best reward. Visit them online at PrincetonBrainandSpine.com or call 215-741-3141.
Hi, this is Chris Harding, Mayor of Yardley Borough, reminding you to join us from 1 to 2 p.m. on the first and third Wednesdays of each month, here on 1490 AM WBCB, and also throughout the world at WBCB1490.com. We'll be talking about all the things going on in Yardley, and the show is brought to you by Nottingham Insurance, Franco's Pizza and Tomato Pies, ShopRite of Yardley, the Continental Tavern, Jammer Doors, Yardley Jewelers, Charcoal BYOB, Bucks County Brush Custom Painting, and the Yardley Inn.
All commentators heard on WBCB expressed their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
For more than 125 years, the Philadelphia Protestant Home has been family to seniors living independently or in personal care and skilled nursing. PPH is a premier community for affordable, quality care and vibrant living. Through its Benevolent Care Fund, PPH also provides peace of mind security to eligible residents who no longer can afford their living expenses. PPH offers spacious studio, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments with balcony, patio, and garden view options. Call now to schedule a tour, 215-697-8000. Or visit us on the web at pphfamily.org. At PPH, we're family.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
It's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so we might have to...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
Breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
And I'm sure that feeling is what he has of not being here on the show, as occupational obligations keeping Lucas out of the mix here. But I'm Fearon Derry, and I'm here with you, and this is Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. And we've got a lot of stuff to get into, but I've been neglecting the phones, so let me go ahead and rectify that by getting to Ed from Northeast Philly. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Good afternoon. Remember to turn your clocks back.
Ah, yes. It is daylight saving time upon us. I might actually be able to get an hour of sleep. Oh, who the hell am I kidding? No, that's not going to happen.
I like that clip about breaking kayfabe.
Oh, yes. You know what? I mean, that's just some of the fun dynamic that that Lucas and I have. I mean, it's a shame he's not here. I mean, I do miss. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Hey, he's got to make that paper too, and getting a paying gig as opposed to this, which was, is technically an internship. But, I mean, like I said, he'll be around, just not nearly as often. But his absence is definitely felt, that's for sure.
The WWE SmackDown comes to Wilkes-Barre at the Mohegan Sun Arena on November 15th at the 7:15.
Oh yeah, that's a little north of here. It's probably about a 3-hour or so drive from here. But from what I've heard of the advertising, which I was going to get into in a little bit here, that'll definitely be worth the trip for those who head out there. It'll be the go home show to Survivor Series, which will be that following Sunday.
NXT at Madison Square Garden the next night.
Oh, on that Wednesday. Ooh, that's another. Certainly another good one, and certainly a great area. You got to love it when WWE comes to the Northeast area here.
WWE comes back for the holiday tour after Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to say, Madison Square Garden usually tends to get that just after Christmas show. That's become a pretty traditional staple for the last few years.
And
from what I can recall.
Remember Raw here in Philly in December 12th?
Yeah, that's not too far away either. It's about 5 weeks from this Monday, something along those lines, if my math is right.
Maybe 6 weeks, maybe.
Possibly. My math hasn't always necessarily been right here. Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3.
Has a doubleheader
That's
tonight.
5 weeks. Okay.
Shakira Pro has a doubleheader in the Northeast at the Wrestle Factory.
Oh, very nice.
Drew Gulak is on the headliner.
Oh, nice. I was actually just briefly chatting with his brother Rory Gulak last night. In fact, I'll give you a little heads up on something going on a little bit later today that involves. Let's see here.
And JAPW's 20th anniversary is next weekend in Rahway.
Oh wow, 20. Oh man, where has the time gone?
It looks like they have a good quiet one. Bulldozer, Matt Tremont, B-Boy, Low-Key, and the Hit Squad. 7 p.m. bell time.
How about that? So to give you an idea, since I was kind of curious, you were talking about how usually Madison Square Garden has that right after Christmas type show. That's pretty much been that way for the last 5 or 6 years, it looks like. Usually within 2 to 3 days after Christmas, WWE does their holiday tour at Madison Square Garden. It was on the 26th last year. Same thing with on the 26th of 2014 and 2013 as well. They did it on December 27th of 2012. And in 2011, the same thing, December 27th. December 26th of 2010, and then they held off for 2009 because they had Raw there about a month earlier, about 5 weeks prior. But in 2008, December 28th. So that Madison Square Garden tradition, just to give you an idea, has been very, very consistent over the course of the past 8 years, I'd say.
Matty Mill Events has something for Survivor Series at Mixed Roast Beef on the November 20th. Hacksaw and Rikishi.
Oh, wow. Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Rikishi.
2210 Cartman Avenue.
Oh, yeah. Nick's Roast Beef there.
Yeah, Nick's.
Yeah, both. I was gonna say I got the chance to meet both of those guys. They're both super cool. I think somewhere at home I still have the autographed 2x4 of Hacksaw Jim Duggan's.
And they have a ZZW WSU doubleheader next week at the Skate Zone. Bulldozers on that one.
Oh, Matt Tremont. Okay.
Yeah, Joe Gacy. And Jay from TNA.
Oh, all righty. So that's a nice little mix there. And I don't know if you had this.
4 p.m. and 8 p.m.
I don't know if you had this in your local look here, so I was going to throw this out here also. But a little bit later this afternoon, down at 500 Spring Garden Street in the Northern Liberty section of Philadelphia, is the Yards Brewery Brawler Fest. Does that ring a bell at all?
I probably didn't see that. I think I made this list up early this morning.
Oh, well, no, that's all right. Well,
yeah,
the notable thing about it is that along with the I was going to say there's a lot of different things going on. There's going to be a Beat the Streets wrestling promotion. Guest MMA fighter Eddie Alvarez is going to be there. But also there is the Monster Factory. The folks for the MFPW have I was down there with them helping set the ring up last night, and it's in that outdoor area. Plus, Philadelphia radio personality Anthony Gargano is going to be there. A bunch of Philly's finest food trucks, Oink and Moo Barbecue, Mom's, Local 215, and Taco Mondo. That all goes down starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon and goes through 7. Admission for it is looks like it's $55 for the regular admission because there's beer included. So that's for those who are enjoying the libations. Make sure you do responsibly. And if you just want to check everything else out, but not necessarily enjoying the libations, there's I love how they have the ticket names of heavyweight and cruiserweight. You could get the cruiserweight designated driver ticket for $20, and that'll get you in and not give you the access necessarily to the beverages, but to all the other fun, the music and the concert and whatnot, as well as some of the exhibitions from the MFPW. So if you don't want to necessarily head all the way out to Paulsboro, New Jersey, as I know I've talked about on numerous occasions, it's a good way to be able to check out some of the action that we'll have there. And to throw one other thing out there, those of you you may have noticed Hell in a Cell this past Sunday. And I'm sure you did there, Ed, as well. And I want to apologize. I can almost hear the ECW crowd chanting, you bleeped up at this one. But because of everything that I was focusing on with the MF Super Camp, Lucas and I failed to get our predictions certain to go wrong out there. So we'll just we'll call it a forfeit and kind of move on and focus on Survivor Series. And since it's as close as it is, I don't think it's going to necessarily affect the outcome since our picks are only one apart from another. So we've got that to look forward to coming up in a couple of weeks. But on Hell in a Cell, you may remember in that main event, the women's Hell in a Cell match between Sasha Banks and Charlotte. You remember how Charlotte was getting carried out to the ring by on a throne by some gentlemen there? Yes. Well, one of them just happens to be one of the students at the MFPW and at the Monster Factory, and the current MF Live champion Cody Vance, getting to do a little bit of extra work. So I wanted to throw some props out to him for that as well. A little something to go back and rewind and take a look at if you haven't, or take a look at it if you haven't had the chance to see the pay-per-view either.
Yeah, that's about it.
All righty, Ed. Thank you so much for the look at the local scene. Certainly appreciate it as always. And while I won't be here next week, I believe that, I should say I'll be on the air next week, but not here live in studio, as I'll be down at the Delirious seminar. But we should be back here in studio 2 weeks from now with a Survivor Series preview, and that'll certainly be a lot of fun. I can only imagine what hilarity and hijinks will come about that.
Have a nice day.
All righty, Ed. Thank you so much for the call. Greatly appreciate it, as always. So getting a look back here to the news and notes. I know we talked a lot about TNA here. If you want to chime in with your thoughts on where you think they're going, whether you think it's still relevant, anything of that nature, you can do so via the phones at 215-949-3232. Or you could chime in on the Facebook fan page. It has relocated, I guess would be the best way to describe it. You look for Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB. Feel free to join up on there. I know that, needed to do so for, I guess, some aesthetic and cosmetic purposes. So certainly interesting there. Now, Joseph had posted on there, he said, looks like WWE Network strikes again. Not loading for most people. It's time lawyers get called in to rectify this. Did anybody else have any issues with the broadcast of Hell in a Cell? Just throwing that out there. I see that John had commented that won't do much. Those who troll the network for hours or live stream 24/7 in public places, eating up all that network bandwidth, are responsible for it. Best case scenario, WWE ups their server capacity and improves the data transfer rate, which in turn leads to us paying more per month, or they find ways to crack down on excessive streaming, which they have been trying with cutting down on people sharing passwords and usernames. And Bob, with a much more simple approach, he says, just quit. I don't know necessarily about that. It doesn't. I don't think it necessarily goes that way there. Anyway, looking at some of the other news and notes that we were getting to here. I'd alluded to it in the look at the local scene from Ed from Northeast Philly, but there have been a lot of Undertaker sightings as of late. And no, this isn't like SummerSlam '94. We're not getting the crew from the Naked Gun movies in to do the investigation here. But last week, The Undertaker was at the Cleveland Cavaliers basketball home opener. In full gear, standing outside the team locker room. He was photographed with his wife, Michelle McCool, as well as Dana Warrior, the wife of the late, great Ultimate Warrior. And the Cavaliers' Kevin Love was presented with a replica title belt as part of the WWE promotion. And speaking of promotion, WWE advertising The Undertaker for that November 15th edition of SmackDown Live that will be just north of here a few hours in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. The other reason it's of note, it will be the 900th episode of SmackDown. Yeah, crazy to think that here we are, 17 years later, roughly, and that they've hit 900 episodes. And, yeah, hard to fathom what Raw's up to based on that, because I know it's been quite a lot for them as well. I know, I'm not doing the math right now. Forget it. But it will also be the go-home show to the Survivor Series. So, also of note, Chris Jericho. His fourth book is coming out. It's set to be released August 29th, 2017. The book is titled No is a Four-Letter Word, How I Failed Spelling But Succeeded in Life. Interesting title. The description on Amazon.com reads as follows. Organized around 22 principles, No is a Four-Letter Word outlines Jericho's guidelines to achieving your dreams and making it to the top, explaining how his encounters with legendary musicians, actors, and wrestlers influenced each principle. Whether it's learning how to make any situation work to his benefit, spending money to make money, understanding to always sell himself, or letting go of losing the gig of a lifetime, Jericho takes you with him on his journey up success's ladder and shows you how to apply these principles to your own life. That should be interesting. No is a four-letter word, how I failed spelling but succeeded in life. So that'll be coming up at the end of August of 2017. Wonder if he's going to talk about that show Downfall that he hosted for ABC. Anybody remember that one? Am I the only one? That brief game show run that he had on ABC? No, I guess I'm getting crickets on this one. I don't know. I'm sure some of you out there might be going, oh, yeah, I remember that. Possibly. Trying to think. That was, how many years ago was that now? The ABC game show. It was what, 2010. Okay, it was June of 2010. It lasted, all of 5 episodes. I don't know. I guess it just didn't quite do what they were hoping to as far as the ratings went. It had an initial nice push, but it just kind of gradually declined, and then by the middle of July, they just decided, I guess that was enough of it. Oh, okay. Only 5 episodes were produced due to editing, a faster pace, and a shortage of contestants. He thought that more episodes were going to be filmed that fall, but the recordings had not occurred, and it's now listed officially as canceled, which would make sense because it's been gone for over 6 years now. How about that? Oh, there we go. Bob chiming in, Downfall was a good show. I kind of liked it, too. It was nice that they paired it with Wipeout. It was, I think, part of their, was that Friday nights, I think they had that? Something like that. And Fremantle Media was a part of it because they're known for pretty much all things game shows these days, as they host, or they own the rights to all these different shows. The Price is Right, Family Feud, and pretty much all the stuff that runs on GSN and Buzzer, such as Press Your Luck and Sale of the Century. And I could probably go on a whole game show tangent, but I probably shouldn't. What I should do instead, talking about yards kind of got me in the mood for it, since they actually appeared at the Broken Goblet's Hoppy Halloween Fest. But November is a month of change at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. New for the month? Oh, yeah, this should be fun for the month of November. The Bee Gobbler, a delicious take on a local favorite. I think you know where I'm going with that. Fresh cranberry, Cooper Sharp cheese, hot stuffing, and oven-roasted sliced turkey breast and gravy, all served on a 6-inch sub roll. Wet, messy, and great with beer, just like Bubba. And speaking of Bubba, coming this Friday, the bottle release of Bubba's Sour Tea Bag. That's right, twin sour ales aged 9 months in wine barrels, and then they had fruit added to them as well. Which will you choose? Grapefruit? Strawberry? How about one of each? Plus, on Wednesday, November 23rd, a new Thanksgiving Eve tradition. Wrestling fans, no, they're not bringing Survivor Series back to Thanksgiving Eve. Thanks for the Laughs 2, comedy at the Broken Goblet with comedians Jim Florentine and Don Jameson. And finally, Black Friday brings B-Gob 2.0, an entirely new menu, new hours, a revamped tap room, and the intro of mixed drinks. Just a few of the reasons why it's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Coming back, we got some more news and notes to get into, including what promotion is making their debut during WrestleMania weekend, how many subscribers does WWE Network have, how you can get your tickets to WrestleMania, and which lawsuit has finally gotten settled. I'm sure that even the simplest of folks might be able to figure this one out, brother. All that and more here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Your health is your most precious asset. Tune in to St. Mary Healthline, presented by Gwynedd Mercy University, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. for advice on how to better manage your health. You will hear about important medical issues from the doctors and professionals across all service lines from St. Mary Medical Center. You will have the opportunity to talk or email your questions each week to the experts who can help you live a healthier lifestyle. St. Mary Healthline, presented by Gwynedd Mercy University, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. It's your health. Expect more. Eagles fans join Paul Jolovitz, Tom Cardella, and a different Eagles guest each week during the season for the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff. Every Monday at 6 p.m. right here on 1490 WBCB.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former Major League pitcher, and I want you to be proactive with your health and call the Endoscopy Center at St. Mary. They are equipped with the most up-to-date technology, along with a staff of talented physicians and care and administrators to help manage all your gastrointestinal issues. Call 215-750-7700 today to schedule an appointment or visit their website at theendoscopycenter@stmary.com. Tell them Tommy Green sent you. It is time you look inside.
Whether it's for a wedding, a birthday, or just an I'm thinking of you, Flowers by Jenny Lynn has the brightest use for any occasion. Arrangements are made daily with this season's freshest flowers from all over the world. Jenny Lynn also carries unique gifts and gourmet jams, candies, and cookies. Serving the area for 25 years, Flowers by Jenny Lynn is your Fairless Hills florist. Stop by their beautiful shop to see for yourself at 100 Trenton Road in Fairless Hills, or call Jenny Lynn at 1-800-547-4551. That's 1-800-547-4551.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, November 5. On this date in 2000, ECW held its November to Remember pay-per-view. In the main event, Steve Corino defeated Jerry Lynn, Justin Credible, and the Sandman in a double Jeopardy match to win the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2001, WWF Monday Night Raw aired live from Uniondale, New York. In the main event, The Rock pinned Chris Jericho to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2003, the NWA TNA held its weekly pay-per-view number 68. In the main event, Sting defeated NWA World Heavyweight Champion Jeff Jarrett by disqualification. On this date in 2006, WWE held its Cyber Sunday pay-per-view. In the main event, King Booker defeated John Cena and The Big Show in a Champion of Champions match to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, November 5. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you. Not alongside Lucas DeSangro. He is taking care of some occupational obligations, as I've been calling it. Yeah, he's trying to make that money. What can I say?
I know I'm a mess.
Yeah, he does. But he's working his way through it. He's trying to clean things up. That's how he does here. But yeah, I don't know. He'll be back at some point soon, I'm sure, to mess around with things and prove that he continues to need to belong here.
I don't need to prove a damn thing to you.
See, even when he's not here, he's snarky. How about that? All right, enough fun with drops. I feel like Jim Foxwell over here. So, yeah, looking back at that Today in Wrestling History, that's actually kind of, it got me thinking a little bit. Cyber Sunday, what an interesting concept that has kind of gone the wayside. Is that something you'd like to see come back, perhaps? I don't know, the being able to vote on various either matches or stipulations or opponents or match types or things of that nature. That Champion of Champions match, that was back when you had the 3 different rosters of Raw, SmackDown, and ECW, and the respective champions for each facing off, but the fans got to decide which title would be defended, and it happened to be King Booker's World Heavyweight Championship from SmackDown. That's I'm just looking at some of the other votes and things here. Ric Flair and Roddy Piper, oh goodness, feuding with the Spirit Squad at the time. So that was certainly interesting. That's right, Flair and Piper, winning the vote as far as who the Spirit Squad were going to face, and Slaughter and Rhodes ended up accompanying them to ringside anyway. So that was that was a lot of fun. Also, the Lumberjill match winning as far as the women's title back when it was Lita and Mickie James. Just a lot of fun, different things. Here we go, the different voting results. It was Ric Flair's partner that was to be determined. So Piper won the vote, 46-35 for Dusty Rhodes to 19 for Sergeant Slaughter. Interesting. And an overwhelming, just the various things. You know, who the opponent was for Jeff Hardy. Would it have been Johnny Nitro, Shelton Benjamin, or Carlito? Or who the guest referee would have been for Edge and Randy Orton against Degeneration X. Ended up the choices were either Eric Bischoff, Jonathan Coachman, or Vince McMahon, and ended up Bischoff getting the nod. So all these different, I don't know. I'm kind of curious as to whether that'd be something that you'd want to see come back. I wouldn't mind seeing it, and something tells me that now with the inclusion of the now 19 pay-per-views a year because of the split roster, it could be possible that we might see Cyber Sunday come back, or Taboo Tuesday, or some inclination, because, I mean, they could run it whatever day of the week they wanted because they have the WWE Network, so kind of curious to see how that'll necessarily go. Taking a look at some other news and notes here. So the What Culture Pro Wrestling promotion announced that they will be making their debut in the United States during WrestleMania weekend. What Culture, I'm sure a lot of you know, is a very notable, internet information analysis. I guess that's the, I don't know. What exactly, how exactly do you describe What Culture? It's an interesting question. I should probably figure out how to answer that myself. But I was trying to look it up to at least see if maybe there was a better description. But even Wikipedia can't seem to describe what culture is. How about that? I was hoping it would work out that way, but big shock. Technology and me not getting along. How about that? That's right. Okay, here we go. It's What Culture. It's an internet coverage of things including film, gaming, TV, comics, science, sport, and all other things. That's almost in a way kind of like a cornucopia of nerddom analysis, and there's nothing wrong with that. See, I don't use the term nerd as a derogatory term. I mean, others might, but I don't necessarily. But they have a whole bunch on WWE, and now they're doing their own wrestling promotion. So What Culture Wrestling certainly should be interesting to see what they do there. And some other news: WWE reporting that the WWE Network has averaged 1.458 million paid subscribers in the third quarter of 2016, compared to the 1.306 million subscribers in the third quarter last year. So that's a gain of about 152,000 paid subscribers over the course of the past year. The network has had actually 10 times that, 1.52 million paid subscribers during the second quarter of 2016. So it actually dropped off just a little bit as far as the number of paid subscribers, at least over the course of the last few months. And also of note, there are 1.071 million subscribers in the United States, and internationally there are 373,000 subscribers. So that's interesting as well. So taking a look at the Facebook feedback here, Bob chiming in. well, not on the Pro Wrestling Weekly Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB fan page, but posting to me directly. Interesting, Bob. He says they should have a contest and let the winner, a fan, pick the pay-per-view matches. So an interesting concept of essentially letting the fan be the matchmaker. But I don't know. I guess how would you go about that? Would that just be kind of a random thing? And I mean, who knows what kind of matchmaking that almost opens up for too much wildness to occur. Because if you put that much power in a particular fan's hands, I mean, I don't know. Do you want them to necessarily make, a main event of Callisto against I don't know, Jey Uso or something like that, or Enzo? I mean, it depends on what exactly they'd want to do and how it would, whether or not it would make sense based on everything else that's going on with television at that point. So, while the idea is certainly interesting and out there, I don't know if the WWE would necessarily go with that just for continuity purposes as far as what's being told. The closest thing you saw to that, at least that I can recall, kind of making things seem like they're made up on the fly, was back in the '95 Survivor Series. I think it was the wild card Survivor Series elimination match where you had good guys and bad guys essentially forced to team together. I don't know. That's one of the things that jumps out at me there. But Bob, if you haven't already, I'll send you the link to the Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page, and we'll get you all squared away with that there. Also, WWE announcing that tickets to the pop culture extravaganza WrestleMania 33 will go on sale Friday, November 18th at 10 a.m. Eastern. WrestleMania 33 taking place Sunday, April 2nd, 2017 at the Orlando Citrus Bowl, and will be broadcast live around the world on the WWE Network. Ticket prices range from as low as $38 to $1,065, and that's with taxes included. And there will be a limited number of Gold Circle VIP packages available for $2,130. That's taxes included. The Gold Circle packages include seating in the first 10 rows ringside, access to a Gold Circle VIP stadium entrance, and a commemorative WrestleMania 33 take-home folding chair. Tickets can be purchased through all Ticketmaster outlets, also at www.ticketmaster.com, or by calling 1-800-745-3000. And remember, all tickets are subject to service charges and facility fees. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one either. Where's Nick when I need him on that?
Boo!
Better late than never. In addition, WrestleMania 33 travel packages, which will include tickets to WrestleMania week events, they went on sale this past Monday, October 31st. WrestleManiaTravel.com is where you can go to get those. And, of course, it's the week-long celebration, which have events including WrestleMania Access, the 4-day interactive fan festival at the Orange County Convention Center, the 2017 WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony at the Amway Center. I'm sure there'll be speculation abound as to who will be inducted in that, plus the NXT TakeOver at the Amway Center, as well as Raw and SmackDown Live at the Amway Center as well. So now it's almost turned into a whole week, essentially, starting on the Thursday and going all the way through Tuesday. So now it's a 4-day fan festival of access, but it looks like 6 days worth of action, which, after seemingly culminating at WrestleMania, you have the kind of aftermath, or the after party, as it were, of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown on Tuesday. So certainly looking forward to that. And to I guess the surprise more of this last story here is that it's finally over, but Hulk Hogan and Gawker Media have reached an undisclosed settlement over the Hulk Hogan sex tape lawsuit that's felt like it's gone on forever. Gawker founder Nick Denton writing about it in a blog saying, quote, "After 4 years of litigation funded by a billionaire with a grudge going back even further, a settlement has been reached. The saga is over. Hulk Hogan's retirement will be comfortable." So you can take that to the bank, brother. Hulk Hogan's this whole sex tape thing hopefully finally behind him, and hopefully in his case means that he might be back in good graces with WWE now that that everything is finally officially settled. And perhaps since there has been speculation that WWE was looking to bring Hogan back for WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, that maybe now this can kind of start that process, ever since this all came out between that and the allegations of the racial, well, not allegations, you heard the tapes of it with the racial slurs and everything else, that WWE distancing themselves from Hulk Hogan almost as much as they have from Chris Benoit. But even Ted Efall winced at that one. He's been around long enough to even he knows who that is. But hopefully this can kind of mend the fences as time heals most wounds, if not all. Well, most of them in this case, I suppose. But yeah, we'll certainly see about that as we're coming up on Survivor Series in a couple of weeks. And, of course, before I even get into that, we're 1 week away from the Turkey Slam at the MFPW Arena, 541 Manto Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Of all the events we've done, and I know that I sound like I do a little bit of hyperbole here, but this, almost to the point of Tony Schiavone, greatest night in the history of our sport type deal, this is probably, as far as just up and down the card, one of the biggest events that I've seen. And I mean, I say that with all sincerity and taking all the personal involvement out of it, or potential bias, although I shouldn't really have any as a broadcast journalist. But you'll see the 5th annual Turkey Slam Rumble to determine the #1 contender for the MFPW Heavyweight Championship. Also, Supersonic champion LSG Leon St. Giovanni defending against Mikey Webb, a former champion in his own right, this time in a 60-minute Ironman match. That's right. For those who don't know, that means that you try to accrue as many falls as you can of either pinfall, submission, countout, or disqualification. And whoever has the most after that 60-minute time frame is the winner, and in this case will be the Supersonic champion. So it's not just a matter of beating your opponent once. You want to get as many victories as you can in that 60-minute time frame. Also, tag team champions, the Money and the Miles, defend against former champions Paid in Full. Plus, there'll be an 8-man tag team elimination match, which, yeah, I know tag team elimination matches in November. Big shock there because Survivor Series. But you'll have the MFPW taking on Team Ring of Honor. That's right. ROH coming to the MFPW arena. The teams have already been determined. The MFPW's team, Anthony Bennett, who you saw recently on the Cruiserweight Classic this past summer for WWE, the Freak Beast Nick Camarado, the MF Live champion Cody Vance, and the returning Clutch Adams, whom we haven't seen in the MFPW arena in about 6 months or so. They'll be squaring off against Ring of Honor's Will Ferreira, the hype Will Ferreira, Rhett Titus from All Night Express, as well as Cheeseburger and Delirious. Plus, the MFPW heavyweight champion Damian Martinez will be defending the title against a mystery opponent. One can only wonder who that will be. It all goes down 1 week from tonight at the MFPW Arena, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Doors open at 6. The action starts at 7. Make sure to check out the MFPW and all things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, plus at monsterfactory.org. And check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and more at the mfnetwork.com. So here we are. We got about 2 minutes left, and that means it's time for, well, at least one of my favorite segments, I'm sure as many others. Birthdays! Thank you for that, Lucas. Not too many here today, and I had to really stretch for this one wrestling-related one. On this date in 1973, Johnny David Damon was born. Who? Oh, you know who this is. The former Major League Baseball outfielder, two-time World Series champion, who guest hosted Monday Night Raw back in December of 2009, turns 43 today. Spending many of his prime years with the Boston Red Sox and then winning another World Championship in 2009 with the Yankees, beating the Phillies. You know, good son of a... Anyway... But yes, Johnny Damon turning 43, obviously retired now from Major League Baseball. And the Brucey bonus, going outside of the world of wrestling. On this date in 1941, Arthur Ira Garfunkel was born. And the nod of acknowledgement from Ted Efall, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame musician, generally paired with folk rock partner Paul Simon of Simon and Garfunkel, with solo hits including All I Know, My Little Town, and Wonderful World. He turned 75 today. Yeah, how about that? Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back live on tape next week as I'll be down at the MFPW Arena for the Delirious Seminar. Make sure you come on out to the MFPW Arena for the huge show next week. I'll be doing commentary as I do for Fearon Burgundy. And and you can see Lucas down there as well. I know that actually for last week's event, Walt, who was called in on a few occasions, made an appearance, made the trek down to Paulsboro. And he wanted to make sure that Lucas still knew things, as he tends to do. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Until next week, play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock.